Welcome to the Sanford Health tutorial on how to make a face mask for healthcare professionals. In this tutorial, we will walk you through the list of supplies needed, step-by-step instructions, and tips and tricks as well to complete your face mask. Let's go ahead and get started. In order to get started, let's go ahead and review the supplies needed to make the face mask. You'll need 2 pieces of 100% cotton material, either a 6-inch by 9-inch size for the smaller or a 6-inch by 10-inch size for a larger mask. You will need 1/8-inch elastic for the parts around the ears. Those will be either 7 or 9 inches in length. A bread tie in order for the nose piece. A seam ripper in case you make a mistake. Some pins, and a fabric scissor. In order to get started, you'll want to take one piece of your fabric and determine what is the right or wrong side. My fabric doesn't have that, but yours may if it has a print. Find the wrong side of the fabric and take your bread tie, and you'll want to put this at the very top of the seam. This will be the nose piece for the mask when we're completed. You'll want to take this down and go ahead and pin that in place right in the center. Once you have that pinned in place, go ahead and zigzag stitch it in order to have it hold while you're doing the rest of the mask. Once you have your bread tie in place, you'll want to place the right sides of your fabric together and pin. Once you have your right sides together, the next step that is helpful is to take your elastic band and actually pin it in place so it's ready to go when you're sewing. You'll want it sticking out of the corner just slightly in between the 2 fabrics. Then go ahead and put your other fabric on top of it and pin it in place so that you do not sew the fabric other than at the corners. I recommend even putting a pin up in the center here just to help keep that in place. Once you have one side done, you want to flip it over and do the other short end of the fabric in the same way. From this point, go ahead and pin all around as we will be sewing around the perimeter of the fabric. Once you have everything pinned in place, the next step is to go ahead and sew around that perimeter. In order to do so, you're going to want to find the bottom of your piece. The piece with your bread tie is the top, so you'll want to go opposite from that. You'll start in the center about 1/4 inch from the edge all the way around. Sew to the corner through your elastic. Now go back and forth a couple times in order to secure that in place. Then go ahead and turn on your sewing machine. Sew across the side, once again going back and forth over that elastic. Then you'll want to go across the top. The main part with this is that you want your seam to be on the inside portion of that bread tie. You want the bread tie between your seam and the edge of the material. Once you have gone all the way along the edge, as with the other side, you'll secure that elastic in place, go down the side, secure it, and then you want to only go part way. So if you started here, you want to give yourself about a 2-inch space because that is where we will be turning the piece inside out to right side out in order to finish it. So as you come around the corner, it's possible that your elastic may have shifted. So in that case, go ahead and just push your finger in and get it out of the way and continue sewing. Now that we have it sewn, we'll go ahead and turn it right side out. You'll want to find your opening and gently push through each piece through the hole. Once you get it mostly out, it's really helpful to take your finger and push through in that corner in order to get those where they need to be. And there we are, we have our loops on the side. This is a good time that if you have an iron, it might be beneficial to go ahead and press this flat. It will help you in your finishing touches. Now that we have all our corners out, and if you have pressed your piece as well, we're now ready to make the pin tucks. In order to do this, we want 3 on each side, equally spaced if possible. You'll want all your tucks going the same direction on both sides. So you don't want one going this side and one going this side, for instance. What it will look like when we are all done is something similar to this. So in order to make the pin tucks, what you'll want to do is go about 1 inch down from the edge and go ahead and just fold that over. You can see I don't need much of a fold, but you do want it substantial enough that you can pin it. Go ahead and take your pin and pin that first one. From here, you'll want to make your second one. Go down just a small amount such as that, and pin that one as well. To make our third tuck will be the same process, and you'll want to try to go about an equal amount to what you went to before. And as you can see, we have 3 pin tucks on this side. Now what you'll want to do is do the exact same thing in the same direction on the other side as well. And there we are. Now we have our pin tucks ready to sew. Now that we have our pin tucks in place, we'll want to sew once again around the perimeter, this time as a top stitch. I would recommend starting a 1/4 or 1/8 inch, whatever you're more comfortable with, from a corner so that you can go around the entire perimeter at the same time. You'll want to make sure that you go slowly over your pin tucks in order to get those in place, taking the pins out as we go. The one item that you'll want to pay a special attention to is that bread tie at the top. You'll want to make sure that your stitch puts that straight up to the top so that you're not sewing through it or between the seam and the bread tie. Now that we've come to the top side of the mask, this is once again where you'll want to pay attention to that bread tie and put the seam on the correct side as explained previously. Once you've gone around the entire perimeter, go ahead and take it off the machine and cut your threads. Once you have clipped your threads, your face mask is now complete. You are done and can move on to making yet another one. In order to show you how this looks on, I will go ahead and demonstrate, but we do ask that you do not try your own masks on that you will be donating, as these are for healthcare professionals. On behalf of Sanford Health, we can't thank you enough in advance for your time and effort in making face masks for our healthcare professionals. Thank you for joining this tutorial, and we wish you luck with your sewing.